Staying true to your core self is at the heart of developing a personal or business brand. Learning what that core is and finding your authentic voice can be a challenge, which is where Matthew Sloane and his partner come in with Soulful Brand. Here's Matthew with more.
I work with aspiring thought leaders, and the challenge they're usually having is they have a stuck point in their marketing. They're not quite sure how they're unique and then how to convey a uniqueness once they understand it. They want to stand out in the marketplace, but they also want to stay true to themselves in the process. For me, it's very similar to the kind of things I'm helping with the people I work with. One of my big things is making a first impression. So the amount of perfectionism that I have in me, the desire to do it right, the desire to get it right the first time, it's a huge challenge for me. And so part of my thing is like, how do I relax and go with the flow and learn along the way, rather than having to get it right out of the gate. I think because of maybe who I am, I really care about what other people think. And so as I've moved forward as an entrepreneur, there have been no shortage of people telling me like what they think I should do, or how they think it's not quite there, or whatever the case. And it's a real practice for me to stay connected to what I care about and what I know to be true from my experience. So it can be challenging, though, to hear all these other opinions and forget that I have a really core opinion of my own to stay true to. A big part of this work for me is that I've gotten a lot of support from other people to support me to get my more authentic voice out and to understand more clearly what I'm even doing in the world. And as a result of that, I'm so much more effective as a human being. So in a way, I'm giving back in a similar way that people stood there and held space for me. I believe that the work I'm doing can allow for a marketplace in which there's a little more authenticity, and there's less people worrying about what they're trying to create and make people do, as opposed to, look, here I am, here's my idea, and you don't have to like it. I welcome you into this possibility, and if that's not happening, cool. And I think there's the challenge of, a lot of our marketplace, we're told, like, you have to control this to make this happen and make this happen. And it tends, for me, it takes me out of my authentic presence with people when I do it that way. So I really want people to have that chance to show up and be themselves, and then let's drop that kind of controlling each other and see what happens from there. Before I started, I wish that I knew that this isn't about me figuring it all out by myself. And that means a lot of different things to me. So one is getting help from people. I've been very creative in doing trades with people to get kinds of support that I really can't do on my own. And just knowing that there's a community of people, whether it's the people I want to serve and being in conversation with them, or a community of others like me and being in conversation with those people and trading notes. Otherwise, this work can be so isolating. And for me, I work out of my home. It's especially important to be connected to others and not forget that other people are out there that I can lean on, and they can lean on me. I get really inspired by documentaries. Especially documentaries that are pointing to an issue and saying, look, we need to pay attention to this part of our world or this part of our community, and people are suffering in this way, and they can give a kind of a macro view of like, here's how this affects everyone, and dive in deep and say, here's this one person and their specific experience, so we can actually feel it. And what I love about those is they're taking a strong stand on improving the world. So there's something about that documentary style that really resonates with my sense of fairness and justice and improving things for everyone. My clients love me because part of what I'm doing for them is really I'm playing a role that they may not have had in their life so far. So I'm holding space in such a way that I will ask them a hard question. I will ask them hard question after hard question, and it doesn't matter to me what they say. I can bring a sense of non-judgment so they don't have to worry about what's coming up. And then I love to reflect back to them, like how amazing they already are and how everything they need in terms of their ability to stand as a confident entrepreneur, it's already inside them. And it's just finding it. So I'm helping them find that stuff inside, and they know I'm not trying to add or make them different. I'm just helping them be more true to themselves. I used to be a graphic designer. I used to be the person that would always want to spend a lot of time up front getting to know my clients. Um, and I noticed that I was in some ways providing them with a look and a feel, but I wasn't actually getting to bring them out as much. And sometimes what I noticed was it was like, hey, let's figure out the thing that'll make you look good in the marketplace, which is still important, but we were sidestepping this other piece around like, what about like what's really important to you and who you are? How can we bring that out into the look and feel stuff? And I actually met my now business partner, Ryan Rigoli, and he was invested in this kind of inquiry around the same kind of marketplace I wanted to see. And we met in coaching school. We were in a kind of this executive coaching training, and we both thought we were done with marketing and branding forever. But when we experimented with this other possibility of like, what if it was like really personal and about the meaning, then we were both like, okay, we could do this. This is meaningful to us. It's not just the older paradigm of controlling again. It's more, let's see what's true and share that with each other. The abyss I'm at right now is like, how do I, as an entrepreneur, I love my work, but I have to figure out my own sustainable business model. And as much as I love the work itself, I do have to step back and look at the whole system and what I'm creating in terms of inviting people and how I choose my pricing and all this kind of stuff. And that's not been my strong point, and yet if I don't make that kind of improvement, then I can't keep doing the work that I love. So part of me needs to address that, whether that's something inside of me and or getting the kind of support that can get me over that ledge. Part of where I go is there's kind of two directions. There's really noticing the most grounding thing I can do is get into my body. And that is like I can go exercise, I could do yoga, something I try to do almost every day. That gets me out of my head, and I think the challenging times are when I'm worried or I'm anxious. The other thing I do is I remember that I'm not alone, that I'm not the only one feeling this stuff, that this is a common experience among a lot of entrepreneurs. And the last thing is that I remember that this whole business thing is something we made up. It's kind of a game that we use to further our society. And I'm still learning how to play the game. And it's not that there's anything wrong with me for not having gotten to a certain point. I am where I am. And the best I can do is be here and enjoy the ride.